Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of What Works, the show where we find out what works in the health and fitness industry. Today we're going to be looking at two different types of training. Today we are looking at drop sets versus supersets. Now some people get drop sets and supersets confused because they have a similar name. However, even though they are performed in similar actions, the things that they work are very different. First, looking at drop sets. Drop sets are when you are doing multiple sets of one exercise or multiple exercises, and after each set you drop the weight. Now with these, it's not set and then you rest and then you do it again. It's back to back. So for the case of, let's say, the incline bench press, you're going to go till failure, and then as soon as you're done with that, you're going to drop your weights, get a lighter weight, and then you're going to keep going. The term drop set came from Henry Atkins in 1947. It was made popular by the book Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, where it talked about drop sets and the different types of drop sets that you can do in your own program. In this drop set, the weight that you can downgrade can vary depending on what your goals are. Now overall, drop sets kind of aim to increase hypertrophy, or muscle mass, muscle growth, the size of your muscle. That's essentially what hypertrophy is. And because drop sets focus on that one muscle and the different types of muscle fibers within that, drop sets are really critical for bodybuilders when they're trying to sculpt and grow one particular muscle. So you're probably thinking there's multiple types of drop sets. I just thought that you just drop the poundage a little bit and you just keep going. Well, that is true. That is the basics of drop sets, but it takes many different forms. For example, the three most basic types of drop sets are tight, wide, and then half drop sets. So tight is what it sounds like. It's when you're keeping the weight close to the original one you started with. Ideally what you're doing is you're going to be doing reps with a heavier weight, and then once you go to a failure, you pick up a slightly less heavy weight and you go to a failure. This is typically going to be a very low rep range of drop set, so you're not going to be going for endurance. A wide drop set is where you drop the weight a lot. The goal with this is around 15 to 20 reps on your second set, because what you're doing now is you do heavy weight the first set. Okay, go to about 6 or 8 reps. Your type 2 muscles are exhausted at this point, and then you go into lighter weight, which works your type 1 or your slow twitch muscles, and you just pound it out, and now you're hitting 2 types of muscle fibers with one overall workout. Half drop sets are exactly what they sound like. You're just gonna half the weight that you're starting with originally. So for instance, let's say I'm lifting 40 pounds. When I do my drop set, I'm gonna start lifting 20 pounds. This is a nice, easy way to work in drop sets and to make sure you're not pushing yourself or causing any injury. Because the weights can be so low, you're going to either go till failure or until 15 to 20 reps, depending on where you're at. Now with these 3 examples, we're looking at a drop set when you do it in 2 sets. So you do your first set, drop some poundage, and then you do your next set. That is one option. That's usually the basic form of a drop set. But however, you could do it in an even bigger format. This is also known as a giant set. Now, very similar to a drop set, instead of 2 exercises, now you're gonna do 3 exercises. So you can either, again, hit the same muscle and do the exact same exercise 3 times through. You can do 3 different, again, let's say shoulder exercises. You could do flies to shoulder press into something like just holds, isometric holds with light dumbbells. So along with giant sets, there are even more systematic approaches to drop setting. In fact, there's 2 really famous ones that people do a lot. One is called running the stack or running the rack. With running the stack and running the rack, you are either working with dumbbells or machines. Essentially what running the rack means is you find a weight that you could do 4 to 6 reps with. You do that, then you put it back on the rack, you go up 1 weight increment or down 1 weight increment, and then you do a set with 8 to 10 reps, put the weight back, take it off again. Now you're gonna do 10 to 12, so on and so forth until you get to 15 to 20 reps. So you're going down the rack of weights, increasing 1 weight increment at a time. Another type of drop setting is plate sliding. Now this is usually better with a partner, so you're not getting up, running around the bench with the barbell, taking weight off during your rest time, which is very little. But essentially you have plates on either side of a barbell. You pump out until you hit failure, put the bar up, take a plate off on each side, and then you go till failure again until eventually you're just at the bar and then you hit failure. And that is one example of a drop set. I also call that a burnout, depending on how you view it. Now, if you go past a giant set, you're kind of transforming your workout into circuit training, because with so many stations you have to do, you kind of have to lessen the effort with each one. So eventually you're just gonna be focused more on a cardio burn and less on strength training one particular muscle, or you'll just exhaust the muscle too quickly and you could again lead yourself into injury with too much work on one particular part. So these are all examples of what a drop set is. You can get very creative with this and choose how you implement it in your workout routine. Again, you can drop the weight for doing the same exercise over and over again. You can change the angle and do multiple sets of different exercises focusing on one muscle. But the purpose of a drop set is to increase muscle size hypertrophy, not necessarily strength or power. So remember that when you continue on. So next, let's look at supersets. So what makes supersets different from drop sets is it's not focusing on one muscle, but actually it focuses on two at the same time. Focusing on antagonistic muscles, when you do supersets, you're doing two exercises for two completely different muscle types, muscles that don't relate to each other at all. If you know a typical split routine, let's say you're doing chest day, a lot of bodybuilders will tell you to do all your chest exercises first, use your big muscles, and then if you're gonna do shoulders and triceps for your other push muscles, they say do that because you've used your big muscles and your little muscles to help during that chest section, and then when you go to arms, they're already warmed up, a little tired, and ready to be pushed. But with supersets, it's kind of the opposite thinking. It's, I'm gonna use my big muscles, they need to recover, let's just say with the chest and back. Let's say you're doing push-ups. While you're resting from your push-ups, you can do pull-ups because you're not using your back during the push-ups and you're not using your chest during the pull-ups. So during that time, you're able to utilize your time at the gym during your rests, work on another big muscle while one is resting, and then you have a superset. You can superset with almost any muscle because every muscle has an opposite. Like I said, you can do chest and back, bicep, tricep. You can mix it up with things like legs and back, legs and chest, legs and arms. Basically, as long as the muscles aren't affecting each other during their workout, then you can superset them as much as you want. Supersets are great because it's gonna save you a lot of time in the gym. Drop sets have the exact same pro because you're just gonna be working really hard. The only difference is, even though they're both faster, is with supersets you can cover a lot more. You could do a full body day very easily with supersets, where with drop sets, it's a lot more focused on if you're doing a split routine and you're focusing on very specific body parts. As far as the structure of supersets and the rep ranges you want to do or the weight that you should do, that's honestly up to your goals and where your training phase is. With drop sets, it's kind of self-explanatory. You're dropping the weight. But with supersets, it doesn't really tell you what to do with your weight. And again, it's up to you. If you want to do a heavy chest exercise with a lighter leg exercise, that's still a superset. You can do the reverse, heavy legs, light chest. If you want to go for even on both, that's totally fine. What's important is knowing where you are in your training, knowing your weaknesses, what you need to work on and what you don't need to work on, and applying that to every workout that you go and do. I hope this video has helped you a little bit understanding the difference between drop sets and supersets. Again, just to recap, drop sets, muscle isolation like crazy, it's for muscle mass, and it's just doing multiple sets of your choosing and of your rep range of the same muscle area. Where supersets, more full body stuff, you're focusing on two big antagonist muscles. Antagonists are main movers, and you want to make sure that when you focus on those, you're doing the opposite. So again, bicep, tricep is opposite, chest and back, back and legs, whatever. So that's a superset. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you guys are curious about nutritional or physical training consultation, please contact us at excelperformance.net. Please like and subscribe, and have a very good day.